have just disembarked one of the biggest and most exciting cruise ships in the world, MSC World Europa. MSC is a controversial cruise line and I have heard mixed reviews, but I was very excited to go on board and come up with my own opinion of it. If I'm honest, I was a little bit apprehensive about going on a ship of this size. I was concerned we would have to queue for absolutely everything, there would be loads of children running around and there would be crowds absolutely everywhere. But I'm happy to report that throughout the week my concerns were laid to rest. We boarded MSC World Europa in Marseille, France. I had prepared myself for a long, tedious embarkation process, but to my surprise, the time from arriving to the port to embarking the cruise ship was 15 minutes, which I honestly couldn't believe. I didn't know this until going on board, but they don't actually have one set embarkation day like a lot of other cruise lines do. People embark and disembark their cruise every single day. Now this really threw me, but having spent a week on board, I actually think it's kind of genius. The wait to get on board the ship is minimal. There was no surge to the buffet like there is on other cruise ships, and everything just felt really relaxed. The first thing Hannah and I did when we entered the World Galleria was gasp at the sheer size of the area. With the LED screens on the ceiling and all the lights reflecting off the mirrors, we were just stunned once again at how not only massive it is, but how bright and airy it felt. We had a little wander around this area before we ate lunch. We thought about going to the buffet area, however, after looking at the pizza place, we decided that that's where we needed to go. Everything in the pizza place is included. Pizza, garlic bread, burgers, fries, cookies, donuts, you name it, they've got it all. And this is slightly embarrassing, but I went here 5 times during my time on World Europa, and considering how many places there are to eat on board, that should tell you how good the pizza place was.
Cheers. Oh my god, that pizza was just insane.
The burger was my favourite.
That's probably up there. I would say the best pizza I've ever had, but it's definitely up there. With one of, yeah, like, so
best
good.
Pizza
the
ever.
Charcoal one. It's definitely in the top 3, 100%.
Wow. I mean, it was, yeah,
That was the charcoal pizza.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, I know, and I stand by it.
After lunch, we went to explore the World Promenade, which was at the aft of the cruise ship. We visited the Lavazza coffee shop, which I was very excited to see as I am a huge coffee lover. Personally, I don't usually think the speciality coffee on cruise ships is worth the extra money that you pay, but the coffee in the Lavazza coffee shop was some of the best coffee I've ever had. So if you're a coffee lover, it's well worth paying the extra money for. So after we perked up a little bit, we went to check out our muster station. Once again, I had prepared myself for a possible life jacket demonstration, a safety video, maybe a speech.
So that was quick.
That was really quick. You literally have to scan your card and that's it. Amazing.
That's record quick. What was that, 25 seconds?
If that.
Probably not even that.
I think the longest part of it was asking if you wanted to be on film.
Yeah.
After exploring the ship a little, we thought it best to head to our cabin. While I was walking down the very lengthy corridor, which, can you believe this is only the back of the ship, I noticed that there were loads of pictures of Dublin on the walls, and this made me wonder, why Dublin? Now I know that every deck on MSC is named after a city. So now we have arrived to our cabin. I wanted to show you the cabin before our bags got here and we unpacked, so it was still relatively tidy. As you can see, we've got a wonderful double bed in here, which might I add was like sleeping on a cloud. It was such a great bed. And then to the right of the bed, we also have this little wardrobe area. I was pleased to see that the wardrobe door opened all the way out so that you could access the clothes. And these drawers were soft clothes, which is always a really nice touch. You know, if you're with someone heavy-handed, a soft clothes drawer is always something to be thankful for. Now, another thing I was really happy to see was the amount of hangers that were here. You know, it's my pet peeve when you get onto a cruise ship and there's like 2 hangers per person. The bathroom was a great size and I was thrilled to see that there was no shower curtain and the lighting was absolutely perfect for doing your makeup. The World Promenade is located on deck 8, and since we were on deck 9 at the aft of the ship, we were directly above the lanai bar. And I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit concerned. I was wondering how noisy it was gonna be, how many activities went on here during the evening, but luckily it didn't affect our sleep too much. And I actually loved having a balcony that overlooked such a hub, because having a balcony that looks at the sea is wonderful. It's serene, it's peaceful. But one of my favourite things to do is people watch. And as you can imagine, this is the perfect balcony to people watch from. So you actually feel like you're immersed in all the activities that are going on without actually having to leave your cabin. But comment down below if you like people watching too, because I can't get enough of it. And as the cabin was so close to deck A, I was a little bit worried about how private it would be and if people would be able to see in the cabin. But fortunately, again, I think all of the doors have a reflective screen, because when you look at... I was the one looking at people's cabins, but when I had a look, you can't actually see inside when the door is closed. And on top of that, they also have 3 sets of curtains. So there's a net curtain, which obviously lets in the light, but just gives you a bit of privacy. Then there's a blackout curtain. And on top of that, there's another normal curtain. So privacy wasn't an issue. So after Hannah and I unpacked a little bit, we headed to the bar and opened the MSC app and proceeded to plan the rest of our week on board, which included booking a show pretty much every single night. Now, I really liked the MSC app. It was really easy to use, and I also loved that you can view every venue's menu on the app. So if you don't know what you want to eat that night, you can just have a little look on the app and decide from your cabin, or in our case, a bar, you know. Gone are the days where you have to traipse around the ship looking at every venue's menu and, you know, walking around and around before you actually decide on somewhere to eat. You can just go on the app and make your decision from the comfort of wherever you are. Now, MSC do offer fixed and flexible dining. Hannah and I had fixed dining, which was originally set for 5:30. This was a little bit early for us, so we did go down and ask them to change it for 7:30, which they happily did not seem to be an issue. And I really enjoyed eating in the Hexagon restaurant, which is the main dining room. Like, the food was amazing, and our waiter was so wonderful. Like, he made such an effort with us to get to know us, ask us questions, cracking jokes, which I couldn't believe, really, because I was like, where are you finding the time, mate? Like, there's so much going on in here. But he really did make an effort to make our evening in the main dining room extra special. So every night after dinner, we would go to whatever show was on that evening. One of the shows that we saw was the Queen of the Night show, where we saw the singer Cleopatra perform infamous, epic tunes from people like Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, and even Anastasia. She was absolutely fantastic. And what was nice is the songs that she was singing are so famous that even if people don't speak English, they know these songs. So everyone was having a sing-along and getting involved. But on that note, I did find that all of the shows were very visually stimulating, more so than any other show I've seen on another cruise ship. And I think that's because there are so many nationalities cruising. There isn't much emphasis on the dialogue in these shows because there would be a huge percentage of people that wouldn't understand. So they've put way more emphasis into crazy stunts. Like in one of the shows, they got 2 motorbikes in a massive metal ball spinning around and around, which was nuts but incredible. And if I'm honest, I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. The costumes were outlandish but so intricate and interesting. The dancing was sensational. There was loads of gymnastics going on, and there was even a lady that came out and was spinning by her hair. And then at the end of the show, the cruise director came on and proceeded to say the same thing 6 times in 6 different languages to accommodate everyone in the audience. I was like, how this woman is speaking 6 different languages is amazing. After this show, Hannah and I fancied a cup of tea. You know, being British and all. So we went to the tea house, and although this was not the intention, this actually became a nightly ritual. So every night before bed, we'd go and have a cup of tea. The atmosphere was so calm, and in the evenings they would have a lovely piano player on, which just added to the ambiance. Although there were parties, karaoke evenings, salsa classes going on, me and Hannah decided that we wanted to drink tea. So there really is something for everyone. And I had no idea that the thing I would choose to do is drink tea. You can take the girl out of England, but you can't take the England out of the girl. Well, we're back in the tea house
Again. You know, I love the attention to detail as well to coincide with the theme. So in here, for example, it's got a very like colonial 1800s, 1900s turn of the century vibe to go with that tea feel.
Yeah.
And there's like these fans in here, which obviously don't get used because there's air conditioning, but it's little things like that that make a really immersive experience at these venues.
Also, the cookies they offered in here are absolutely delightful. We became really friendly with the crew that served in here, so every time we would walk into the tea house, whether it was day or night, they would bring us cookies without us even asking, which was so lovely. So if you do nothing else on World Europa, you have to go to the Raj Polo Tea House and have a cookie. Even if you don't have a cup of tea, you need to go and have a cookie because they are... I was really excited by the sheer amount that there was to do on board World Europa. We did try and do everything, but I'll talk more about what we did on World Europa in the next video. I can safely say though, I think it's impossible to be bored on this cruise ship. From roller skating to bumper cars to the Formula 1 racer to all the slides and pools they have on offer, it's just incredible. One of Hannah's favourite things to do was go to the roller discos they hosted on board. Now, I assumed that these roller discos were going to be very, very busy and there wasn't going to be any roller skates left, but actually it wasn't overly crowded. There was plenty of room for Hannah to roll around. I did not partake in the roller skating because I can't roller skate, to save my life. But I was surprised not to see more kids taking part in the roller discos, but maybe it's because we did go on this cruise outside of the school holidays, so that probably has something to do with the lack of under 16s there are on board. Now, the word I would use to describe our week overall is relaxed. And that really is not the word I thought I would use. I thought I would use exciting, fun, electric, and while it was all those things, it was also really relaxed. I thought the dress code would be stricter than it was, because even on formal nights there was a huge spectrum of how people had dressed. You know, some people were in their ball gowns, but some people were in their shorts, and all was accepted. So everyone had made an effort in their own way, which I really like, because I think you should be able to wear what you want to wear on your vacation. And that was the case. Everyone wore what they want to wear and was able to feel comfortable doing so. I think the only rule was that you had to be dressed when you were in any of the eateries. So, you know, just keep your bikini for by the pool. And speaking of, I was really impressed with the size of the main pool. I have never seen a pool this big on board a cruise ship, and this was definitely a favourite amongst the children. So for passengers who wanted a little more quiet, they have the Zen pool, which is located at the aft of the ship. And this was definitely mine and Hannah's favourite area. And once again, there were really good sized pools that had a fantastic view of the wake and also the World Promenade. Nearby, they also had the Zen bar where you could sit, drink a cocktail, and once again, people watch people on the World Promenade. Another beautiful area though was the Botanic Pool, which was just in front of the main pool. And this is a perfect area for those people who want to swim but don't want to be in direct sunlight. They have these beautiful swinging chairs, lots of sunbeds, and the whole area just had a really beautiful, calm feel to it because of the amount of plants and greenery there were. We then came to the Aurora Borealis Aqua Park, which is geared up for children. Here we have the kids pool, which honestly looked fun, and if I was much younger, this is where I would have spent all of my time. There's also the 3 water slides on board. So you have the dual slide where you can race your opponent to the bottom. You have the drop slide, it says it in the name. You drop into the slide, which is something I would be too scared to do, but I believe it's very popular with passengers who aren't scaredy cats. And then you also have the VR slide. I think it's really cool how they've been designed. I love the colour combination, and it's really great that there's a load of seating nearby. Now, to be able to enjoy all the slides on board, you have to sign a form and get a wristband. So don't do what I did and get in the queue before you've got a wristband. And this is for the water slides and the Venom Drop dry slide, which is neighbouring the water slides. The Venom Drop was incredible and so much faster than I was expecting it to be. To go down the slide, you have to sit in a black mat, which will provide a little bit of cushioning. But Hannah and I went on this slide multiple times because it was such a rush. But all this fun sure built up an appetite. One of the restaurants me and Hannah tried whilst on board was the Garden Kitchen. The restaurant features the world's first hydrophoic microfarm at sea, and I found out that that basically means growing plants without using soil. And the green beans that are grown here are featured in the dishes. This restaurant has an open kitchen, so you can watch the chefs hard at work as they're cooking your dinner. The food was so tasty in here, and we had such a lovely waiter called Dharma who was really knowledgeable. He explained every single dish to us thoroughly, and I don't think I've ever been so full. In fact, I spent the whole cruise feeling very full, so we definitely made use of the lifts, even though my waistline probably would have preferred me using the stairs. But since the ship is so huge, the lifts were definitely needed. And I don't remember waiting any more than 2 or 3 minutes for a lift because they've got this new high-tech lift system, which really saves time. The lounge at the back of the ship was huge and so beautiful. The decor is exquisite, and the view out the back of the window of the port, just wonderful. Something I really liked was that each seating row was separated by a pane of glass, making it feel a little bit more private. And in the evening, this venue hosted loads of events, from shows to parties. The best party we attended here was the white party, which, you guessed it, everyone wore white and danced the night away. So definitely make sure you bring your white clothes when you are coming on board. Now, the night of the white party was actually the night that Hannah and I received an invitation to the secret bar on World Europa, which we had heard a lot about. Honestly, it was way better than I expected. It's a speakeasy with fantastic live music and a quirky cocktail menu. Hannah and I originally planned to stay for one cocktail, as every drink that's offered in the secret bar costs extra. But we were having such a good time in there that we ended up staying for the majority of the night. You do have to book a time slot, and I believe the idea is that you go for an hour or two, and I think as long as you're ordering drinks, they're happy for you to stay. Now, there just so happened to be a couple in the bar with us who were fantastic jive dancers. They got up and started dancing, which made everyone else feel comfortable to do the same, which just added to the night being so wonderful. We definitely felt very special to be given an invitation, and I really do think it's worth paying the extra money for the cocktails to have this experience. So if you're lucky enough to get an invite, please do not pass up the chance to see this place for yourself. Great selection of shops on board MSC World Europa, and there's nothing quite like a good shopping spree on holiday, but I found my favourite shop on board was the Jean-Philippe Murray chocolate shop. He's a renowned pastry chef and chocolatier that's now featured on a few of the MSC cruise ships. This is a shop / chocolate factory / cafe, and it really is a lovely spot to have a coffee and a chocolate treat to keep you going until dinner. So while you can shop the pre-made confectionery, you also have the opportunity to create your own chocolate bar, which is something that I did because, you know, there wasn't enough free food available. Another one of our favourite venues was the Fizz Champagne Lounge. This had such a beautiful atmosphere, and as you can imagine, had a great selection of champagnes on offer, like Bollinger, Veuve Clicquot, Taittinger and Moet. In the evenings, this is a great little sun trap, so it's a really lovely place to come for a pre-dinner drink. There are 2 main buffet areas on MSC World Europa, and during the times that we went and ate in the buffet, we didn't find it overly hectic, which was some feedback that I had heard before going on board. I loved the food in the buffet. I think it's comparable to other cruise lines of this size. Every meal we had in there, we really enjoyed. There was also the option to sit outside. So this is a really nice little area that overlooks the World Promenade. And also through here is where I found the glass walkway. And yes, it did give me the heebie-jeebies. Walking across this once was enough for me. But if you do want to get a good view of the World Promenade, I think I found your spot. So as you can probably guess, I had an amazing time on MSC World Europa. The food was great, the amount of things to do was amazing, and if you want to see everything that Hannah and I actually got up to, then make sure you click the notification bell, because in the next video, that's what I'll be showcasing. So MSC is definitely in my good books, and I would 100% go on World Europa again. I loved it. We had the best time. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and if you have any questions about MSC World Europa, let me know in the comments and I will try and answer your questions. Also, you will be able to find links in the description box down below for the MSC website and the MSC YouTube channel. But I really appreciate you watching, guys. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead, and as always, I will see you in the next video.